Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Social Media and AI Shortcuts. I'm Madalyn Sklar. Today, we are diving into tools, trends, and conversations helping creators like you, like me, to work smarter, not harder. That's what we come here and do. And I've got such big news. I'm so excited. We are celebrating a major milestone. I've been kind of quiet about it until today. I don't know why. But today, well, yesterday, technically, this week has been the 10-year anniversary of the Twitter Smarter chat. What that little Twitter, old school Twitter chat that I started right after I launched the Twitter Smarter podcast. It's just been an amazing road journey, like how all of that evolved and helped me become the go-to Twitter gal in so many circles. And it's transitioned into this a few years ago. Switched it over to this weekly live stream, Social Media and AI Shortcuts. I love that we still come together in this time slot every Thursday at 1 o'clock Eastern. So I'll be sharing a little bit about my journey and what it's meant to me over the past decade. It's just amazing looking back on this 10-year journey. And we're also going to explore ChatGPT's brand new study mode. I don't know if y'all have heard about this, but it just dropped this week. And I've been looking at it. It's very interesting. It's designed to help you learn by walking you through problems step by step. So, instead of like, oh, just ask ChatGPT a question and let it just provide all the answers or do your homework or whatever. It actually walks you through. I've been looking at it. It's pretty cool. So we're going to go over that today. And it's available for people on free accounts and the paid accounts. We're also going to talk about privacy concerns with ChatGPT. We've talked about that a few times recently. There's been some really interesting discussions online about it that you should know. And I'm going to show you that, especially if you're using AI regularly. I think it's just really important. And then also we're going to discuss why Substack is what I think is becoming more powerful than ever. It's not just for newsletters. It's also for building community and building your reach. So we're going to go look at that and have a discussion. So if you're new here, hi. I'm Madalyn. I've been teaching social media and digital marketing, oh my gosh, for the past 20 years. I help you make smart, simple moves with AI and with your social media so that you can grow your presence without getting overwhelmed. That's what we do. We come here and just have discussions to help everybody. So why don't I bring up our panelists that are here today with us. Hello, y'all. Thanks for joining me. It's always nice having a group. I'm perfectly capable of just spending an hour just talking about all this stuff. I do like, y'all know me, I love having community. I love having others. I like to pass the mic around. So I'm so glad y'all are here. I love having regulars. And if anybody watching this wants to be part of the regulars on screen, you got to go join us over on School. So that's the only requirement. Go over to school.com/Madalyn Sklar. It's our free community where we continue the discussions outside of this weekly live stream. So if you join us over there and would like to come on screen with us, look at that, so cute. Then feel free to join us and let me know if you'd like to be on there. So great to see everybody. How are y'all doing today? Awesome panelists.
Great. Happy anniversary.
Yes.
Can you believe 10 years?
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Smarter 10 years. I know. I knew it was this week because, hey, Jason from Bunsen and Beaker, good to see you. I knew it was this week because of my Facebook memories. It just kept popping up like, the first anniversary and then the 5-year anniversary, like all this stuff's all week's been popping up. I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe it just was so long ago. So yeah, we'll definitely be talking about my journey with that and how cool it's been and how I got to meet many of you. Like Jim and I met through my old Twitter chat through Twitter, and he was actually part of the Twitter Smarter greeter group. We had like these, regulars that offered to volunteer, and because the chat grew so much, I'm the kind of person like, I'm doing that old school Twitter chat. I'm on my computer trying to say hi to everybody at the beginning. And I mean, I will make a point to do that. And after a while, it got so popular, like I felt bad. I couldn't say hi to everybody when they showed up. So I thought maybe I need to get some greeters that can like help with that. And so we had like a whole system. We would divide up the alphabet. Remember that, Jim?
Yes.
We had so much fun. So we had a great time. Jim, it's so good having you as one of our regulars now. You were in the comments last week and it's like, hey, you got to come join us. I've known you a long time now.
I know it has
has been. It's in fact, it's funny. I remember if I've told people this, but back when we used X or Twitter, I learned Twitter. I was driving back and forth from North Carolina to Atlanta, and I was listening to Madalyn's podcast on Twitter Smarter. That's how I learned Twitter. So I literally listened to every episode driving, and then to end up being a greeter, a couple years later was really cool.
It was a fun Twitter chat. We had it was so cool that you could use a hashtag to have a conversation wherever you are in the world. And that's all a Twitter chat was. It was before live streaming, before Spaces. I know when Spaces got really popular on X, a lot of people that were using Spaces didn't realize there used to be a thing called Twitter chats. When they heard us talk about Twitter chats, they thought it was Spaces. It's like, no, there was a thing where you actually typed it on your phone or computer using a hashtag. The whole conversation revolved a hashtag. And it was very different. But back then, that's all we had. Like, that was the best way to bring people together, don't y'all think? I mean, Rachel, I know you've had Twitter chats for a very long time. Maria, did you host any Twitter? I know you're real big with hosting Spaces.
Yeah, I love the audio. But the chats, I always hear about them, and I definitely was in some of yours as you transitioned into Spaces. But the pinging around of the energy in a conversation, you can do with writing too, of course. I loved following your chats, the way you would have different sections, what questions to answer, and it just would grow and grow. Yeah, while the thing was happening. Love that.
Yeah, because it was basically a Q&A. The way I used to do the Twitter Smarter Twitter chat, we'd have a guest every week and to come talk about, most times Twitter marketing related, but sometimes I've had them come on and talk about other things like maybe, some LinkedIn strategies or Facebook or whatever. And I would always have a list of questions, and it would be like, we're going to ask the question to everybody, but we're really looking at the guest and their answers, but everybody else is invited to come participate. And it would get so overwhelming, like to the point that I couldn't even keep up with it all. I mean, do you remember, Jim, how everything would fly by? After an hour, and so many people said after an hour, you felt exhausted because you're just typing, and it's so hard to keep up.
It's intense. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. But I love Spaces too.
And then remembering to use the hashtag in every tweet. That was the hardest thing.
That was the hardest part to remember in the beginning. And that's why so many people new to Twitter chats had issues, because I'd always say, I think I always had like a list of these tweets. And one of them was a reminder, be sure to put the Twitter Smarter hashtag. If you don't have it in the tweet, we will not. I said, we're looking at the hashtag for 1 hour. If you don't have that in your tweets, we're not going to see whatever it is you say. And I had like I'm such a strategist. I had like this whole setup with using Hootsuite where I'd have everything scheduled and all the tweets, but I was always worried it would like be off like a minute or something, because it was never perfect. And so I had like system where I'd have it all scheduled, but then just so they're ready. But then I was still manually like, all right, let me take this one, because right at this moment I want the next question to go, and I would just take it off the schedule and just. I even taught a class. I even had a class because people wanted to learn like how to run a Twitter chat and how to do the behind the scenes. I had like a whole online course and videos and stuff. I remember showing my crazy Hootsuite strategy. I don't even know if that was the best way to do it.
Well, and Madalyn, let me just say the funnest thing about following you for all this time is seeing how you morph with each different type of technology that pops up. We can trust you to check it out and tell us about it and be open to learning. You're not like stuck in one way and disappointed when things close down or whatever. You're like, oh, well, next thing, and we'll go. And it's brilliant. Yeah. Thank you so much for doing this.
I love that you mentioned that, Maria, because really that's one of my superpowers. I don't know why. I don't try to do that, but I am always eager to try something new and see how I can apply it. And if it's something I need to pivot, but I also like to show and help people learn by how I'm doing things. I pretty much all this stuff I do, I feel like is just people can learn so much and just follow and copy what I do. I
Right.
don't think I'm doing anything that's too hard to do. But like going from an old school Twitter chat to Spaces, for many of us old school Twitter chat hosts, Rachel, it was like, should I switch? Everybody was doing space. I was watching people transition over to Spaces and stopping the old school Twitter chats. And me being me, what I did for the longest time, I think for a couple of years, I did both because that's very me to do. So I did not want to give up the 12 o'clock, the 1 o'clock Eastern time slot for the old school, because everybody knew to be there. And and I was one of the early beta testers to be a host of Spaces. And I'll tell that story in a minute because that's a wild story how that happened. But what I did, being very me, is like, okay, I'm going to do both. So why don't I experiment and keep the old school Twitter chat 1 o'clock Eastern, and then let's do a Spaces version later. And actually, years before, me being me, when Facebook Live was getting popular a long time ago, I'm like, I want to do a Facebook Live version too. So what I used to do for a couple of years is I would have the guest after the old school Twitter chat, then we'd go right over to Facebook Live. And we'd immediately go over there. And I said, just stay on for like a 20 or 30 minutes. You can do longer if you want, but let's just keep the conversation going. But now we're live streaming this because I want people to see how cool live streaming is.
Mm-hmm.
And how easy it is. But it's a different type of conversation because not everybody sees us. And so I did that for a long time. Then I switched it to Spaces. And then I got to the point where I'm like, okay, we're going to stop the hashtag chat and just make it all Spaces, keep the 1 o'clock Eastern time slot and just do it as Spaces. And I loved it. I love that. I love audio. And I was already a podcaster for a long time. So it was hard to give up the old school Twitter chat. That's all it was. That version, because also that Twitter Smarter was not my first Twitter chat. Actually, I had been hosting Twitter chats since 2011. That was my first one, which was also on Thursdays. Call me crazy, but I was already, the reason why I did Twitter Smarter on Thursdays is because I'd already been doing my music industry one for musicians. It was Thursdays at 3 o'clock Eastern. No, 8 o'clock. I think 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock Eastern. And then it got so popular and people overseas were like, this is 3 a.m. for us. Can you do an earlier one? So me being me again, it's like,
oh my
okay,
God.
I'll do two of them because I wasn't going to give up the 9 o'clock Eastern because it was so popular. And Twitter chats were very new back then in 2011. Very few people were doing it. Or they would try it and see, and if they couldn't get enough people, then they'd stop doing it. But I just consistently did it. I didn't care who showed up or how many. That is so cute, Rachel. So I ended up adding a second one. So that was at 3 o'clock Eastern. So for years, 3 o'clock Eastern and 8 o'clock Eastern every Thursday. So when Twitter Smarter started in 2015, I first started the Twitter Smarter podcast. That came first. And beginning of 2015, I said to myself, you're starting a podcast. I'd already been podcasting, but at the time I'd stopped. And I'm like, okay, I want to get known. In the music industry, I was already known for teaching social media and all that. Like everybody knew and learned, I used to speak on conferences and events all over the US. I wanted to get more known more broadly, and especially in the social media and marketing space. So I thought I got to start a podcast. I'd already been branding the Twitter Smarter hashtag for years. So I thought I'm going to call it Twitter Smarter because it's just catchy and it says what it is. And everything I do pretty much says what it is in the name. That's how I do my branding. It's got to be very obvious when whatever is, just like social media and AI shortcuts, pretty obvious what this is about. So I launched the podcast in June 1st. My very first guest was Pat Flynn, which was amazing because I couldn't believe he said yes. But it was just a super short format podcast. I asked every guest the same question. What are your best Twitter tips? I had Pat Flynn, Maury Smith, Mark Schaefer, Mike Stelzner. I mean, I had all the big names that were teaching social media back then. And it really helped get my name out there. And I was going to start the Twitter Smarter Twitter chat, but I wasn't planning to start it right away. I really wanted to focus more on the podcast. But the podcast got popular really fast. And so many people said the same thing you said, Jim, that they discovered it and people would binge listen. That people would tell me they're on road trips and they would just binge listen because they were short episodes. They were usually like, some were like maybe 15, 10, 15, 20 minutes. They were just really short, just no fluff, to the point. So it got popular really fast. I thought, okay, I'm going to go and launch the Twitter chat. I need to go ahead and do that. So I launched it at the end of July. So like just not that long into the podcast, I was like, here's the Twitter chat. And the Twitter chat is what really got me known. I mean, that really exploded. I had no idea it would explode, but it's been cool. It's been a great journey. It's just cool looking back. I did pull up, I'm going to show y'all some tweets because I did. It's not too hard to go on X and actually do a search for old tweets. And it literally took me like a minute to go find. Actually, I posted this. So yeah, 10 years ago, I went and found one of my tweets from that day. So that was my little promo the day of. But let me show you all this. So I went and got the search query because you can do advanced search. Not everybody knows you can do advanced search, but you can go in and do these searches. That's how I found that. But yeah, July 30th, 2015. And I made all these graphics myself in Canva. They're terrible because I'm not a graphic designer, but I was so proud of myself. And a great story, the very first Twitter Smarter chat, we had so many people showed up. I didn't think anybody was going to show up, honestly. I had came up with the idea to just go ahead and launch it like a week before. I'm like, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. I had the idea, but I'm going to just do it, gal. Just like my tattoo says, just do it. So I'm just like, I'm just going to go for it and just get this thing going. And so many people reached out after and said, this was so great. We had such a great time. One of them was a graphic designer. And I guess she saw how crappy my graphics were, and I'd be promoting the podcast. So for the first Twitter Smarter chat, this was the episode that had come out that week, and I thought it was perfect. How to run a Twitter chat with Brian Honigman. So that was really good. So anyway, she's like, I'll do them for you. So she volunteered and she made my graphics way better. I'll have to go find some, but yeah, that was really cool. So it was just interesting how this all played out, but it's just how I operate. I'll come up with an idea and I'll just go do it. And if it works, great. If not, that's okay. Pivot, go do something else. But, as us here as creators and entrepreneurs, like, stepping back, it's like, wow, everything I do, it's just from an idea I had. I mean, isn't that how y'all operate, or is that just me?
No, totally. In fact, you were talking about searching in Twitter, and I just learned this just a little while ago, and I've been on Twitter for freaking ever, right? So if you're on mobile and let's say I go into your or Jim's, anybody's profile, up on the top right is a little magnifying glass.
Mm-hmm.
There's a search bar within, only on mobile though, on each of our profiles. So if you're like, oh, I remember, like, Madalyn said something like a week ago about whatever, you could put that in and it'll come right up. And a fellow author taught me that.
It's on desktop too. Okay. That was a feature we wanted forever.
Yes.
But the only way you could do a search of somebody's specific tweets, you had to go into advanced search. Right. And advanced search was always hidden. So I used to just always preach to everybody, here's the URL, bookmark this. And it was just twitter.com/advanced search. It was really, I just told everybody, this is the easiest way to get to it. I'll show everybody how to get to it now, because it's available to you.
I see it now.
You have to know where to find it.
Yeah.
So, but like if you're on somebody's profile, I'm on mine right now, you'll see the little magnifying. So you'll see it on mobile. They eventually added it to desktop. So if I click on that, you'll see it now says from Madalyn Sklar. So it's, so if I just say, I'll just be super generic and just say Twitter. It's going to go find tweets from me that have the word Twitter in it. Now, we want the advanced search. Right. So I don't like how they have this on X. It was like this when it was Twitter. You have to already be in this part of the search here. And then the 3 dots over here, then you can get to advanced search, or you'll see it over here. It also says advanced search. So that's the only way you get to advanced search. And this is still a very valuable tool. So this is how I found those old tweets in literally 1 minute is you can really dial down what you're looking for. Well, I knew it's going to have the hashtag Twitter Smarter. So I'm going to put right here, Twitter Smarter. And I knew it was the end of July. So I come down to the dates and I just came in here and I put July. I knew it was towards the end. So I'll put July 20th, 2015 through, let's say August 1st. Okay, so I'm giving it the parameters, but you can see there's a gazillion things you can do. I just want to find Twitter Smarter in that time frame. So I come over here, and then it's showing me these tweets, and that was how I was able to go back and not only find all the different ones that I posted, like here, how is everyone today? I just did my first Twitter Smarter chat, and it was amazing, and I had a link to a recap. But Hootsuite community, I was a Hootsuite ambassador for years. And so they did a post that I was going to be hosting the chat. So I was able to, y'all saw that took seconds. And I'm able to come in here and find all these old tweets. And, great conversations we had here on the first chat. This guy Preston showed up and made.
Tip is to respond. My other Twitter tip is to respond to people with a quick video. Usually gets their attention.
This was before people were doing this, the little, quick little video. I said, well, the video replies. I try to get everybody to do video replies, not to me, but back then you just didn't see this. But look at how it stood out, So, yeah, we had a lot of great times doing all this. So, always fun. Is anybody still doing Twitter chats, or is everybody doing Spaces now?
I really haven't been doing either, but since you guys got me back on Twitter because of the message group, I'm starting to look at it a little bit more. I mean, I've been on Blue Sky, but it's not Twitter in the aspect of I mean, some people I think are having great success. I feel like Threads, I can't figure it out, and I don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been using Spaces more for sure, but I do like DM chat groups too.
Yes.
Those are a lot easier to hone down to specific conversations and mingle with people better.
And speaking of, have y'all seen
yeah.
that there's that new feature now? It's been showing up on mobile, the chat.
Yes.
Has anybody tried that yet? Because I haven't. I see the beta. I've got it on all of my Twitter account or my X accounts, but I haven't tried it yet. So
I don't understand the benefits of it. It's encrypted, it's safer, but I mean, that's kind of a big so what? I don't know.
Well, they added encrypted DMs a couple of years ago when Elon took over, but I don't see anything about that anymore. I don't even know if people ever used it. I remember we all tried it and it was like, okay, big deal.
Right.
So I don't know. Do we need this? It's interesting how it just shows up on your sidebar.
I haven't even wasted my time checking. I looked at it a tiny bit, and the DM chats work fine as long as they're curated properly. That's the thing. But yeah, no, I like Spaces.
Yeah.
I also like the
background sound. It's like really loud all of a sudden. I think it's
there's a horn.
Yeah, I don't know where that's coming. All right, I'll mute when I'm not talking.
It's not me.
No, it's me. I can hear it, but I have the background sound thing checked and with my mic, but it's right. I can tell it's loud. So
I think it's gone now.
It's going away now.
So on Twitter, the thing that's been helping me a little bit is even though the community feature there is not very stable at all. It keeps changing, but I've been really liking it because then I know I can go to particular communities where I know all the content in there is going to be something I'm interested in instead of randomly scrolling and, being hit by some icky things. So it's a little nicer to go to places where I know what the basic intention is of the community. And then it's a lot of people posting. So that's been helping me hone down a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. let's get into our, we have so many different things to talk about, and I don't know if I'll have time to do everything. So maybe we'll just zoom through it kind of fast. The couple of things new with ChatGPT that I want to share with y'all is something new that came out this week. I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of discussion about it, so I don't know if everybody's aware. It's called study mode. Have y'all heard that ChatGPT has this new study mode? So I'm going to play a short little video that talks about it, but basically it, allows you to like work through your problem step by step instead of just asking a question and getting an answer, especially like if somebody's using it for just like homework and let it just do everything for you. I think this is pretty cool. Maybe they're doing this in an effort to, have kids that are using AI or ChatGPT to learn from this and not let it do all the work. So it looks interesting. I'll play this video clip so y'all can see, but it came out on Tuesday. And it's available if you're logged in on a free, plus, pro, or team account. So any of the different accounts, you'll have access to it, but you got to be logged in. So even on the free. So I would definitely check this out. I'm going to show y'all, and it looks really, really interesting. Great. Hey, Christopher, great to see you. All right, so let me play this. Y'all let me know what you think.
So ChatGPT just released a new study tool called Study and Learn that's perfect for students, parents of students, teachers, even anyone who's just looking to learn something new in life. And it's available right now inside of ChatGPT. So here I am inside my account. And to use this, you want to click right here where it says Tools, and you can click on Study and Learn. And this will give you the ability to deep dive into any subject and be quizzed on it. And this is different than just using ChatGPT to actually just ask it questions about a topic, because for this, it's really going to hone in and make sure that you understand the topic well enough so that you could actually take a test on it. So for instance, let's say you have a math problem. I'm going to upload a photo of that math problem and say, help me with my math homework. And you see right here, it breaks down for you the first step that you need to take. It doesn't just give you the answer. See, if you just use ChatGPT regularly, like I did right here, I sent it the exact same thing, the same photo with the same question, help me with my homework, and it just gives me the answer. It tells me how to do it, but it just gives me the answer right here. But with Study and Learn turned on, it doesn't give you the answer. It tells you and helps you walk through how to solve this problem yourself. So the first thing it wants to do is figure out how many crayons are in the 3 boxes. So this question is basically saying Samantha has 3 boxes of crayons. Each box has 24 crayons, and then she gives 18 away. How many does she have left? So step 1 is figure out how many crayons she had in total when she started. 3 times 24 is 72, I think. And yes, I'm right about that. It says Samantha has 72 crayons. Step 2, she gives 18 crayons to her friends. So what is 72 minus 18? And let's say I were to get this one wrong. I know the answer is 54, but let's say I accidentally add them together. So what would that be? 90, right? I'll say 90 and just trying to see what it says when I give it a wrong answer. And it says, nope, you're not quite right. But let's think of this another way. What if you do 72 minus 10 and then subtract 8 more? So then I might give it the right answer, but it doesn't just stop there. Even though it says I got it right, it says, can you quickly explain how you got that answer, just to lock it in your memory? And again, this is very different than if you were just using ChatGPT the regular way. It's really trying to help you learn these concepts and get better at them.
What do you think of that? That looks really interesting. I think it's a great idea to have an option like that.
Be interested to see what it actually lets you learn, because I could see where that could be, like maybe you want to learn about coding or some other things. I wonder if how it teaches you from that perspective. And do you have to have the paid plan to use that, Madalyn?
No, you can be you got to be logged in, but you can be on the free. It's the free and the paid, but it specifically says you got to be logged in. So Christopher says that he tried testing it. It's really good for learning. It seems like it would be. I think it's great that they put that out, and maybe that will get more students using the tool to try to learn things instead of letting it do
Yeah, instead of using it to cheat.
But also, like for the parents, gosh, could y'all imagine if we had this when the kids were? I hated when my son was.
I needed it. Yes.
And I'd be like, especially the math.
Yes.
I'm like, oh Lord, don't make me do that. I'd look at this, I'd go, I mean, we had the internet, but back then, but still it's like, oh my gosh, I would have loved this because then I could be learning with them. I'd be like,
Yes.
yeah, that looks right.
Yeah, because presumably it's teaching from the current way of explaining it too. Because the way I think of math is different because I was taught differently. So yeah, that was the tough part for me. I'd try to explain to the kids how to do something. No, mom, it's this way, and the answer was the same, but the way to get there was different with a different style. So yeah, I
Yeah.
kind of love this for students for sure.
And Jason says it just does very simple math. I figured, like, I wouldn't trust it with anything major, but like, still, that would have been helpful for me as a mom looking at this, going, "Oh my God, I don't remember this stuff," and I'd be like, and I have no need for it these days. So you don't want to say that too loud to the kid, but yeah. And then Christopher, like, showing an example, he had it explain kratom. Great. Before we dive in, can I ask you real quick, are you learning about it for class? Personal, that's cool. I like this, asking you questions. That's really good. Very cool. So I just wanted to share that with y'all because it's super interesting. Just knowing there's another cool, they had the agents thing. I'm still not super impressed with it. I haven't heard a lot of good use cases. I mean, a lot of people are complaining it's not that great. I don't know. I haven't had a whole lot of time to really invest. But the other big news this week is Notebook LM, and y'all know I love Notebook LM. Gosh, ever since this came out, this is a Google AI tool. You can use it free, and they have a paid. So what they did this week is they came out with video overviews. So y'all may remember there's the audio overviews, and I've shown that in our live streams here many times because it's just so darn cool. And what I'm going to do is show y'all. We'll go back to the one I've had from a long time ago. I've shown on the live stream where I just basically put in information about me, like an about page. It has all my details of my 30-year career, 29-year career. And it just this amazing audio that sounds like a podcast. You got a man and a woman, AI generated, saying all these great things about you. I always tell people, if you want a great boost to your ego, go get put the sources of like your LinkedIn and about pay, anything, or just copy and paste, get all the good information about you and your career or whatever it is you want to do. And oh my gosh, I had so many people do that and be like, oh my God, this was great. Because it's so nice. So I'm going to play a little bit of the audio and then I'm going to click on the video version. And I've only played a little bit of it. I've only watched a little bit of it, but it was like really good. So I wanted to play more of it here. It's really, really interesting. Have any of y'all tried this or even, aware that like they now have this video, like what it showed, like showing an example on here. But I mean, has anybody here used Notebook LM? Am I like the only one that plays around with Notebook LM? Do y'all like it?
Not yet. There's so much. It's like, where do you start?
Exactly. Let me first show, a while back, I had put in the way you put in sources, and you can put in links, you can put in YouTube videos, you can put copy and paste text, you can upload documents. So when we did one of these live streams a few months back, I basically came in and I just put the URL, the YouTube URL. So this was one of our, from a while back, and had it do the audio. Let me see, the audio is way down here. Let me play this, just a little snippet so you can see the difference. So first is the audio.
Okay, so you know how it feels sometimes. Like you're just drowning in social media updates, AI news flying everywhere.
Oh, absolutely. It's a constant stream, can be totally overwhelming.
So this was just, taking the transcript of one of these live streams. So, that's the audio overview. So now you'll see video over, and I'm on the free account. This is just the free notebooklm.google.com. So when you click on video overview, it'll take a while. It'll even say it takes a while. And I've noticed it takes maybe 10, 15 minutes. It takes a little while. So I did this so that I could show y'all one. So I'm going to click. It's ready. Oh, I guess you got to hit play, doesn't autoplay.
Okay, let's just dive right in. If you're a creator or an entrepreneur, you know that the world of social media and AI is moving at, well, lightning speed. It really can feel like you're drinking from a fire hose. So in this explainer, we're going to cut through all that noise. We're going to give you a toolkit of practical, powerful AI shortcuts you can literally start using today. Yeah, this quote from Madalyn Sklar, it just hits home, right? It feels like there's this constant
Uh-oh. Where did Madalyn go?
Oh my goodness, it's a takeover. It was trying to quote her.
There she
Where is she? There she
was
is.
starting to come back.
How are we all here, but she's not? She's
Because we're still
Right?
live.
I don't know
that's
what I
the-
did. I don't
The
know.
lunatics are running the asylum.
It can happen. It's happened to me before.
I don't think that's ever happened to me. I don't know what just happened, but you know what threw me off? The video was still playing. I was hearing the video of what I was showing y'all, so I didn't think anything was wrong at first. I'm like, wait a minute, where'd my screen go?
And it was
Oh.
quoting you so brilliantly.
That was so bizarre. All right, I'm going to show y'all another one, but I don't know. This is a live show. That's all I can say. Welcome to live streaming. It's not always perfect, but it's always fun. So let me show you the About Me one. I just wanted to show you a little bit of that, but let's go to the About Me one. So this is, I put in a URL of a thing that has all this info about me. And so let me play a little bit of the audio. Let me make sure this is on the screen.
Hopefully
Okay.
you'll stay here this time.
I hope so.
Welcome back, everyone. We're diving deep
There's
today,
the audio.
folks. Deep into the career of, well, you've probably heard of her, Madalyn Sklar. Yeah, she's kind of a big deal in, social media.
All right, now I'm going to play the video one. And you do have to hit play. It does not autoplay.
You know, in the crazy world of digital trends, you've got people who follow the wave, and then you have the people who learn how to ride it. But every once in a while, you find someone who seems to see the wave coming before anyone else even knows the ocean's there. Well, today, we're going to dive into the story of one of those true pioneers. That right there, that quote is everything you need to know about Madalyn Sklar. Her entire career, seriously, has been built on that one superpower, seeing a possibility in the digital world and then just making it real. It's the one thing that connects almost 3 decades of constant evolution. So where does a journey like this even start? We have to go way back,
Like a
back to when
PowerPoint.
the internet was kind of like the Wild West. For her, it wasn't about finding a job in some established industry. It was about grabbing a shovel and helping build the whole thing from scratch. 30 years. Just let that number sink in for a second. In this business, a new platform can be hot one minute and a ghost town 30 months later. So staying on top of the game for 30 years, it's almost.
What do you think of it? It's interesting. I mean, I'll watch the rest of it later because I haven't really seen much of this, but it's really interesting that, you can now have like basically a PowerPoint type video. I'm not sure what I would do with any of this yet. I haven't even really used the audio, but I love that we have this, but there's so many different uses. I can see this being great, like maybe you got some PDF download, you don't have time to go through it all. You could pop it in there and have the audio version, but also have that video version. I don't know. I mean, it can be great for studying and learning.
I think it's a great alternative for like the PowerPoint presentations for sure.
Yeah.
I think that and testing that out. Are you able to go on audio yourself in that with it or not?
You can interrupt it and ask questions. The AI generates like the podcast or that video presentation. Now, I don't know with the video if you can interrupt it. I know with the audio, because when that feature came out, we tried it here and it was really, let me go pull this back up and we can look at that. So when I'm back in here, let me see. I didn't see a way to do that on the video because, yeah, you can say good video, bad video. Okay.
But you can't actually get in and
But
join it.
In the
Digital
audio,
marketing.
She really is.
We've got some stuff from her website.
but this looks different now. I don't see how to interrupt it anymore. So I don't know. With the audio, you were able, it says interactive. So it'll play and I can interrupt it. So I know
Welcome back, everyone. We're diving deep today, folks. Deep into the
Let me shut
career
off.
of, well, you've probably heard of her, Madalyn Sklar. Oh, hey, I think our listeners got something to say.
Oh, wait, I got to add my mic. Hold on. What's my microphone? Who is this Madalyn Sklar you're talking about?
Oh, that's a great question. And it's totally understandable.
Yeah, you're not alone. We're talking about Madalyn Sklar.
She's a pretty significant figure in the world of social media and digital marketing.
We've been, yep, go on.
Are you sure? It doesn't know what to say. I
That's
think
totally okay. Sometimes when you're learning about someone new, it takes a moment.
Absolutely. No need to feel pressured to say anything right away.
We're just happy you're here listening
oh,
and
it didn't
sharing
hear
your
me.
thoughts.
And we understand that
Right
Madalyn's
again.
Oh, yeah, uh-huh.
I don't know if it's. I don't think this is working. The audio thing. Okay, we won't keep trying it. Something's wrong with the audio on my end.
Oh, we totally get why you might feel that way, and we appreciate your honesty.
your perspective is important to us.
Okay, let me get out of that.
So
Anyway,
Madalyn, that first video that you were showing us about you, it's
Mhm.
writing its own script,
Yeah, it's
right?
taking
It's coming up with that.
it's taking the information you whatever the source is that you
Right.
give it.
But
So
it's,
like,
and then it's compiling it in a way that feels comfortable to it, like the way it's emphasizing the words and everything. That's its own script that it's writing. It's coming up with that
yeah, I mean,
information.
it's utilizing
That's-
AI based on the source you
Yeah.
give it. Whatever that
Yeah.
source is, whether it's you just copy and paste, you upload documents, you put in links to web pages, YouTube videos, is basing it on what you provide as
Right.
sources, and you can
And
have one source.
creating its own presentation, its own
Yeah.
script completely. Wow.
Yeah, and you can't adjust it, but it, it had that thumbs up or thumbs down, so you can like let them know if it was good or bad. But it's interesting. I think this is really good for learning stuff. I think I don't know so much about using stuff like this in presentations, but I don't know. I mean, I love tools like this because they're interesting, and I think they're worth looking at. And seeing like how could you use something like this in your work. I mean, maybe there's a use for it or not. If anything, just go have it do the audio overview of the about you, because it's really
Well,
it's cool because it'll say things you didn't think about.
well, obviously it's good for self-promotion,
Yeah.
just like tell me something great about myself. It'll do a whole thing. So yeah.
Exactly.
It's hard to think of that stuff sometimes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I just wanted to show you all some of this new stuff I've come across this week. I want to transition over to talking about Substack for the remaining of our hour because, we had a great discussion about it last week. Rachel really informed us a lot about different things with it, and I've been spending more time on there. I haven't been posting a whole lot yet, but I've been just taking it in, looking at following people, subscribing, and then looking at their posts and how others in our community are utilizing it. And Rachel, I know you had messaged us about some things you were doing with that and wanted to share. So I want to give the floor to you, talking about how Substack's working out for you.
Yeah. Do you want me to just go ahead and share and then I can share that? Or do you want to put that screenshot?
Do you want me to go ahead and put the you want to talk about it first? You want to put the JPEG up? You let me know.
Yeah, that's fine. If you want. So I just wanted to share, I'm not in any way trying to be like a braggy or anything. I only have 6 paid subscribers out of you can see I almost have 7,000 subscribers. The majority are not paid. I always appreciate when someone pays, but I never expect that. My goal, and I think you have to ask yourself going in, and I read this great article today, not only what's your why do you want to share information, but also what's your plan. You can't just show up with no plan, right? Like anything else. So anyway, my plan to go in was to be completely shocked if anybody actually paid, which is lovely and I appreciate it. But I certainly don't expect that from anybody. But the point is I've grown from about 1,800 subscribers in about almost 2 years ago to the day, because I started early August of 2023. Writing every week. I have a sponsor that pays for advertising, and now I'm up over almost 7,000 subscribers. And my 30-day views, at 20,000, I don't get 20,000 views on freaking anything anywhere. So how did I end up with this? And that was just, and I can share more if you want me to share my screen, but I had a post on Amazon, 10 tips most people might not know, that just sort of exploded. And I think that's the one, Madalyn, that you saw. And you said it's like old-fashioned blogging almost, because there were 30 something comments and I got 30 new scripts, and I don't know. It was just like, it just sort of exploded. And you never know when that's going to happen, but I can see it in my stats. And so I can see, okay, I got 30 subscribers from one post. That's huge. So now I know, write more about Amazon, clearly, because it seems to be very popular. So I just like, I can go down the rabbit hole of analytics. I don't feel we need to, but I just want people to know it's an effort and you do have to be consistent, but growth is very possible there.
That's what I'm seeing. I've been seeing a lot of people saying how much they're growing on there, but there's this great community feel to it. And
yeah, and it has notes too. So like for someone who's just absolutely sick of Twitter, not getting any kind of traction on Blue Sky or Threads or any of the others, try coming over to Substack Notes, which is used exactly the same way. It is their social media.
yeah, definitely. I've been playing with that and I love it. And Jim, you had posted, definitely want to have you discuss with us, because the other day you had posted in our school community what you were doing with the recommendations, which I thought was brilliant, because, I was learning about, after we had our discussion a week ago here on this live stream about Substack, Rachel really enlightened us a bit. I spent more time on there, and that recommendation looks like an amazing tool to connect with people. You want to talk a little bit about that, Jim?
Yeah, I mean, it's like where it's different from, say, LinkedIn is like you don't have to say, hey, will you make a recommendation for me? And so any publication that you follow, you can recommend, and other people can do it for you. And so, like a friend of mine, a Marine veteran, that she started to really go after some of the seedy side of the Veteran Service Organization. She started a paid Substack. So I did a recommendation for her. She recommended me, and she's like now like in the top 20 rising in culture. And she literally just started her Substack. And I've gotten 28 new subscribers in the last week just from her recommendation.
Wow. That's
And
powerful.
it is. And so when I saw what Rachel's doing, and I love her post, I went ahead and gave her a recommendation, and then I'm using notes to share her stuff. And that's where I think it makes it so powerful. And I agree with Rachel is, I have paid subscribers turned on, and it's not necessarily like the end all and be all, but after seeing like what you've done with school, I started a school because the whole idea behind my Substack at some point was like, okay, I want to take my subscribers and teach them more about how to do things with video. So that's what my school is going to be about. So I'm getting ready to put a email out to my subscribers, say, hey, come join my school for free, right? Even if they're not a paid subscriber. But it just, I love the community feel. To Rachel's point, I think it's easy to use. Unfortunately, the live stream piece didn't work today. I'm going to have to figure out what happened there, why it didn't go live. Maybe there's a bug in the RTMP or something. But just the ability, I've done a couple times where I've been a guest on other people's shows. It goes into what they call, it goes live on your Substack when you're live. But the beauty of it is when it's done, it goes into what they call your drafts folder. So then you have the choice, okay, I'm going to publish this to my publication, and it's going to allow me to create a blog post about what the video was about. And so I actually spoke about Substack at Digital Wichita last month. And what I thought was interesting is I kind of asked a question to the audience. It's like, how many of you read the show notes on a podcast or the description in a YouTube video? And it was like less than 5 people out of 100 plus people raised their hand. But if I'm on Substack, I'm more likely to read first, watch video second. So because it doesn't punish you for putting in links, it doesn't, do things like that. It allows you to really share what's going on. And you can also have be on multiple publications. So you could decide, okay, I'm going to have a publication that's about Kratom. I'm going to have a publication that's about social media and AI, and it's going to go to that specific audience that subscribes to it. So I think that's another neat feature, because how we always say, oh, well, if I have a YouTube channel, do I need a second one if I'm going to talk about something different? Well, it's kind of the same thing with Substack. You can have different things. You can have admins on your publications. So if you need help running a publication, you can do that. And so I think that's, the other thing too is like with the, with the actual publication itself, it is a website, and you can add tabs. And I don't know if you've done this or not, Rachel, but you could add a tab as an example. That's your YouTube channel. You could add a tab that is your other website. So it really gives you that ability to customize things. And they keep coming out with new features like this new header I have. That's a new feature they just added where you can add to your profile and make it look, a little nicer. And I just, I think, and I'm trying to decide how to write it. Maybe you guys can give me some ideas. Facebook and Facebook groups, if you're someone that depended on Facebook groups for your business, you need to move over to Substack. So one, create the Substack that talks about what you're doing. And then I would say your group becomes, and that was what I think what you're doing, Madalyn, is brilliant, is create a school, right? You can do school now for $9 a month, unless you want to go, with the custom URL and a couple other features for $99. But for $9 a month to set up a school to where you can manage your community. And I love the whole native video. In fact, I've had, some people I've invited to kind of test out my school. Every one of them that's joined, right? I've just gone on there just like you and I did, Madalyn, and I sent them a personal video like, hey, how's it going? Just like you can on LinkedIn. But that's what's going to build connection and community is the video piece of that. And like what you're doing, I think it's,
It's a new feature on school, being able to do native video. A few weeks ago, they added native video finally, instead, because what I
Yeah.
used to do would make a Loom video. So you gotta go sign up for Loom and have a subscription with them, make it in there, and then or YouTube.
Mhm.
But with YouTube, you had to make it unlisted or private or unlisted, so then you could take the link. And then it was a process, and it was too time consuming. But now that we can do native uploading, I can make a quick video on my phone, upload it over there to you on school. And the DM, they just added that last week. So it was a
Right.
few weeks ago, post. And I think the classroom, I might be wrong on that, but then last week they finally added. And look, I asked Sam Evans, the founder of school, a long time ago. I went and found my private message in school to him. I asked him a long time ago, probably about a year and a half ago, like, please add audio and video DMs. This would be amazing to have. And I know they've had a lot of things on their list to add, but I was so thrilled that they added that. And I know they're working on live streams next.
Right. And you can add, the other thing about Substack is you can do audio post. You don't even have to do live video, right? You could take a native video, and I've been doing that. I've been doing this rucking, and I just upload that short video to my notes and talk about what was going on in the video. So it's that, I call it, I don't know if it's the right term. I'm not an English major. I call it multimodal, that you can have multiple forms of content on Substack and you're not being punished by, quote unquote, the algorithm. I mean, the fact that they have a following tab, I'm following you guys, I see your content. It's not, will I see your content? I see your content. And that's where I think, to Rachel's point about the feed, where it's like Twitter is, it's like it's chronological. So if something new pops up, I see it. And you can DM people, you can have your own private chats where you can ask questions of your community specifically, and you can, have that interaction. So I mean, it doesn't have all the features that say school does, and that's where I just see the really strong connection of using the two together. And I'm almost like, why am I even on Facebook anymore? I mean, because
Right.
with what they're doing with live video itself, and that seems to be the biggest complaint of Facebook group owners is like, well, I can't go live in my group, or it's very
Yes.
difficult. And so I think that's part of the problem right there is like, well, why continue to use something that's not wanting to help you? I think that's my perspective.
Jim, can I ask you a question? 2 questions actually about Substack specifically. Can you go live directly into Substack without a third party?
Yes.
Okay.
You can use the app on the phone and the iPad. I think I'm trying to remember because I did it with the iPad once. I know it does do vertical, so I can't remember if on the iPad it'll do the same thing. So
Okay.
like don't turn your I think if you turn your phone initially before you hit the go
Horizontal.
live,
Yeah.
but it won't do it if you switch it
And then,
midstream.
right.
But if like say for an example, if I went live in the app, I could invite Madalyn and on her Substack and she would pop up and we would be just like,
Oh,
two.
side by side, like Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when it goes in Substack, when the live goes to the draft, can you download it for
Yes.
repurposing elsewhere?
Yes.
It's yours for sure.
And
Because
they
I've noticed,
also they also create clips out of your lives that they
okay.
provide you.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. Also, one last question. Difference between follow and subscribe on Substack.
Follow is a person, subscribe is the actual publication.
And you can have multiple publications,
Okay.
which is what
Yes.
I'm experimenting with, because I've really positioned myself for a very long time as Madalyn Sklar who does this, and I was trying to think like, I mean, I'm super impressed with Substack. I liked Substack when it came out. Problem was nobody was really using it,
Mhm.
and it's like
Right.
and then it was mostly authors, and it was just I was waiting for a little bit more mass adoption, I guess, even though many times I signed up for it all. I just wasn't really using it. But watching it evolve and where it's at now, put myself over here. Sorry. I'm running all the controls. The evolution, right? Like if anybody watching this, if you're not on Substack, it's free. Sign up today. The evolution of this is amazing to watch. It is at this place where you can really grow on there if you start now. And learn about it, follow other people, watch what they're doing. That's what I'm doing. I'm just watching the people I like and respect. I'm watching how they're using it to get a lot of ideas. And it looks really promising as a way to get your message out, whether it's, for your newsletter. Look, I have MailChimp, and it looks like instead of paying for MailChimp, I could just use Substack.
Mhm.
And because I have two separate newsletters for two different things, because again, I'm just known as Madalyn Sklar, who does this and this, why not just have the one home like what I was showing y'all? Let me put the link back up. If you go to my Madalyn Sklar Substack, and then I have the two, even though the two newsletters will be very opposite and different and have nothing to do with each other, I'm providing that opportunity for people to go pick the one they want or maybe both, but also connect with me in the one place, which is at Madalyn Sklar. And because it's not just let me sign up for somebody's newsletter, it's let me connect with them. And I think that's what makes it so powerful.
Well, and you kind of hit on something too, Madalyn, that I will say Facebook group owners are forgetting about is the fact that you are getting the emails of everyone that subscribes to your list. You can export that list. So
Oh,
if you want to
Substack?
go take it into MailChimp or whatever, you can do that. But unless you do a lot of workarounds, you don't get any emails from LinkedIn newsletters. You don't get any emails from Facebook groups. And as much as I don't think it's changed over time, right? It's still that gold is to have that email list. And so now, even if something, because people say, "Oh, well, you're still on rented land with Substack," right? Rachel, I'm sure you've heard that too. Yes, technically you are, but guess what? I have that list of people that if I move to a new address, I still have those people. When everybody freaked out, what was that, 3 or 4 weeks ago? It was actually, I think it was the day before I spoke about Substack, right? The Facebook group
Yep. All
issue
those
happened.
AI
Yeah.
groups. Yep.
And
Yeah.
some of those people, if it hadn't been reinstated, they were SOL.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hundreds
They
of
had no
thousands
recourse.
of members. Yeah. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So I think, like you said, it's free. You're getting the emails for free.
100%.
I mean, yeah, I could see where maybe there's some things that, and I probably haven't played around with it enough that they could do on the email marketing side that would make it look a little nicer, as opposed to what some of the other ones do. But it's still, I think it's a really good platform that I think and they just got, I think people are calling them a unicorn because they just got this huge
We got funding, major
funding.
funding. Yeah.
Mm.
Do they have a pro account with Substack, or is it just
No.
free? But you can charge. You can have your free newsletter.
Yes.
Rachel, I know you want to talk a little bit, Rachel, about it. I know you have your free newsletter, but they can pay as well. Your subscribers, like you were showing us earlier with that image. But
Yeah.
that's the only payment would be you could charge, but to use it is free for everybody.
Yeah, I have the free level turned on. So if someone wants to subscribe and not pay anything, then they totally can. And that's really the point for me, is just to share the expertise and visibility, etc. But I do offer a paid option. Now, some people, you can read the first paragraph. That's as far as you get. It's a typical paywall. Then you have to pay. And so larger creators are making good money that way. I just have chosen not to. But I did just sign up for school for the $9.99 version. And once I work on that and probably bend your ear a little bit, Madalyn, on that, I think that's a good way to get people over to paid. But I mean, I might charge $2 a month. I'm not going to make huge money on this. But the reason, again, that I'm always looking at what's our visibility on Google, and Substack is indexed. This is huge for people who don't understand why this is a big deal. If you have, let's say you have 10,000 subscribers on your MailChimp, and it goes directly to those 10,000 people's inboxes, it is not indexed by Google. Nobody sees it but the recipient. However, if you're on Substack, just like if you're on Medium, it is indexed, it is picked up, it is scraped, fresh content, etc. So I think there's a lot of benefits that people may not be aware of for being on Substack that they may not be getting in other places.
Interesting.
Oh, and one more thought. I just want to add this, Jim, you brought up the unicorn. They also are going to be, we as creators will be able to have ads. They're starting advertising. And that's been a huge thing because there was no advertising. And it's a very sort of free platform. The only limitations I see you shaking your head, Jim, is really the length. If it gets too long, they'll say this is too long for email. But that doesn't mean you can't still send it. You send it, but to read the rest, they have to click and go over to your Substack. Right. Again, another good reason to keep that free, in my opinion.
Well, and you brought up a really good point about search. So I just did a quick test because I know before I had seen it. So I typed in my name in Google. I did it both incognito and not. And my Substack now appears on page 1 of my search results, where it didn't before. And so, that's something to definitely consider.
Proof in the pudding right there. Yep.
Quick question. I know we're at the end, we're at the hour, but how is safety on Substack and like your Kratom stuff, Madalyn? Have you had trouble posting particular types of content on Substack, or that's not an issue right now?
Great question. I'm just in my early stages of doing this. I have not started it. I have it in place, but I haven't added, the content yet for the newsletter, but I want to experiment with having it there. So if you go to my Substack, you'll see I have Social Media Now Shortcuts and Kratom Stories podcast. I have them set up, but I haven't started adding content to it yet.
All right. So to be determined.
I plan to, but I haven't really gone through their terms of service yet to see. But yeah, since Kratom is a touchy subject, as a matter of fact, this morning I did a TikTok and they took it down. I got a violation. I got a strike. They just don't like me talking about it there.
You are a rebel.
Yes, I am. And the crazy thing, because it's not going to stop me. The crazy thing about it is this video I put up today on TikTok, they do the memories just like on Facebook. So like from a year ago, show like something you posted a year ago. And so it was one of those. So it was something that's already been on my TikTok without issue, right? And I always feel like those will always be okay, right? Because it's already, I posted it this morning, because you can reshare it. And I got the violation. And a new thing it did, I'm on my phone looking at it. It plays a video telling me about how, do you understand that you cannot talk about drugs and alcohol on TikTok? And I'm like, what? It's like it's giving me a tutorial. And it's like, well, it's not a drug. So I don't know what he's talking about. It's just, but they told me I've been getting strikes lately, so I'm in a lot of trouble over there.
Well,
You're a
Madalyn,
dealer.
Owen Hesmith was having the same problem trying to talk about his cancer journey because he's
Yeah.
more like the anti-pharmaceutical stuff. And I kind of told him the same thing. It's like, hey, you should start posting on Substack. And I know he's now on there. I don't know if he started posting any newsletters, but he was having the same problem. YouTube was not allowing his videos to go out. And so that's another thing. I haven't seen that because I've definitely, and I don't know about you, Rachel, I've seen some stuff that I would call questionable on Substack, but I think it's kind of like, just ignore it, right? If you don't want to see it, I think you can mute stuff and
Right.
Yeah, they
you
had
can
some
block
issues.
people. And
They did have some issues with Nazi as, anti-Semitism and, far right stuff, which you'll find on any platform. And people got mad at the owners of Substack for not kicking all those people off the platform. And they said, listen, we don't love any of what these people are saying, but we are free speech absolutists. So if you want to come on there, I don't honestly think, don't quote me, Madalyn, but I don't see them shutting you down for Kratom, but I could be wrong.
Oh, they've done that. Yeah. Judging judging how other platforms have done it, it wouldn't surprise me because a lot of platforms do it. But with Substack not being as big as these other platforms, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I saw a little bit related to Kratom on there, but not much. And just FYI, because there was a huge press conference this week by the FDA and HHS. So finally, for those of us that advocate for Kratom, it's just a plant. It doesn't get you high. It's just something a lot of us use for chronic pain or to get off of pharmaceuticals or to help with depression and anxiety. So it's not all the same. And so when I talk about it, it's basically a leaf powder. It looks like a tea. It looks like matcha. But they're these synthetics, and they're everywhere in the marketplace. They're in smoke shops and gas stations, and they're calling it Kratom, but it's not. It's this product called 7-OH. And they've gotten out of control. And so the government's come down. Like, they did a press conference the other day, and they're like, we're going to get that. They're going to leave the powder alone, the leaf, as they should, because it's natural. Studies show that it's safe, but these other products have not been studied. They have all kinds of chemicals in it, and is making the marketplace look like all these products are the same. So people hear me talk about Kratom, and they probably go buy this other stuff because the stores tell them that's what this is, and it's not. And it's becoming a real problem right now because people are getting highly addicted to it because it's a synthetic product. And the researchers say it's basically an opioid. So it's just causing a lot of problems in the industry as a whole. So with me just putting out informational content about my personal experience, there's just all this negative publicity about it, and people think it's all the same thing. So it was really nice that the government's come out and said they're leaving the powder alone. They're only going after these synthetics. But I just want to mention this because it probably won't happen right away. Government still moves slow, but I do talk about Kratom a lot, and I don't want people to think the other stuff's the same thing when I talk about it, because it's not.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. And also, to your point, Jim, I don't think we're seeing the same amount of scammers and bots anywhere near like what I mean, I have 13 clients right now. My life is insane, but I go on all their Facebook pages to pull out all those inbox messages that you have violated this. It's all scammers, right?
Yeah.
We're not seeing that yet on Substack, but I will say they do have now a chat option, which is like DMs. And I started a DM group, and I see people dumping stuff in there. So I had to change my settings. And they're, people that don't have any, like they have an account, but they don't have any content or anything. So, they're just there to spam stuff. And one was actually a porn bot. I was like,
oh man.
On Substack? Like, what?
Wow.
I mean,
in a chat?
People write erotica and smut, I mean, for lack of a better word, and they can publish that on Substack without it getting, pulled or whatever, because a lot of the places like Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, to your note, Madalyn, they'll pull it, and then you don't even know why your stuff is gone. I have not seen that happen yet at Substack. I've never had anything not stay up.
Well, but But you also said that you can get the email addresses on stuff, because school, you get the email
Yes.
addresses too.
Yes.
Let me tell you all the reason why I love school so much for my Kratom community. And it's funny, I'll tell the story real quick and we got to wrap up. So the TikTok I have right now, that's, I could very well lose at any time now because I'm getting so much trouble. It's my second one. My first one was doing great, but people told me, other advocates in the Kratom community said, oh, they're notorious for just deleting your accounts and removing you, like, for talking about a plant. And then sure enough, one day out of the blue, my account was gone. No strikes, no warning. It was gone. Everything was gone. I'd built up, had about, I think, 11 or 1,200 followers, and was helping so many people by sharing my story, and it was gone. So I was going to set up a school community for it, but it costs money, and it's nice that there's the $9 tier now, but it used to be just the one cost, $99 for you as the owner to set it up. And the day that TikTok deleted my account about a year and a half ago, I'm like, okay, I'm going to set up another TikTok, but first I'm going to go start a school community for us. And the beauty of that, especially if it's an industry that has, some gray area issues you run into, is that you control it. There's no tech bro that's going to go do something. You have the control. So I pay $99 a month so that I can control the community and not let censorship intervene like we have on other social media. So it's been great for that. But also because people are sharing their, private stories, they don't necessarily want that on a public Facebook group. So it's nice just having a private place where we can do that. And it's been great. I've built it up, over time, and more people are finding out about it. And a lot of people are frustrated with Facebook groups. So, but I do love school. It's a great platform. So we're going to wind down now, but for anybody here watching, they're still here with us, school.com/Madalyn Sklar. That's for this community over on School. And if you're interested in my, the one I do for Kratom, that's over at school.com/Kratom Real Talk. So there you go. Always a great chat with y'all. Thanks so much.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Yeah, thanks everybody for being here and for everybody watching live. Right now we're live on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. We're on lots of different, all over the place. And thank you
All over.
to, I know Barb, we're on your social, and Rachel. Jim, are we on any of yours? I know you tried to do Substack.
Mine blew up, but I did share the YouTube in Substack for people to go watch it. So
thank you for doing that. Appreciate it. All right, y'all. We'll be back next week to do it again.
See
y'all
ya.
have a great rest of your day,
You
and
too.
we'll be back. We'll see y'all soon. Have a great
Bye.